All right. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the pre-market prep. I
You're
hope
not in the
everyone
room.
not in the room. Hold on a second. There we go. Mic is on. All right. Good morning, guys. Welcome to the pre-market prep. I hope everyone's having an amazing morning. Hope you had an amazing weekend as well. So, good morning, Norm. How are you today?
Hey, good morning, buddy. I'm doing all right. Happy Monday.
Yes, yes. Happy Monday. And let's see what we're going to get into early on today. Right now, our gappers list a lot in the red today, as we can see right in here. So not a lot in the green, only Dunkin' Donuts and JMIA. The rest sitting down here pretty nice this morning. It looks like the airlines and travel sectors taking a bit of a hit this morning. That's all we see on there. So
Deja
we'll
vu
look.
all over again, man.
Yes. Yes. So let's see what's going on there. That should be fun. Hopefully, give us some good opportunities there. And we had an interesting week last week. Last week was, I gotta say, it was exciting. We're still somewhat in the middle of earning week, so a lot of stuff happening there that I'm looking forward to this week. Hopefully, it'll be a good one. Well, I actually know I'm kind of jumping into your area with everything else, the election coming, and how this market is going to be as far as overall movement. So let's get to the market post in here and kind of see what's happening, what we can expect this week.
Yeah, well, right now, SPY is down 1.1%. Qs are down just under a percent, 0.94% red. Um, all of the sectors are red, the biggest ones being energy at negative 1.8%, tech at negative 1.1, financials 1.4. So pretty much red across the board. We're hitting some macro issues. Everybody's heard, I'm sure, if you've paid any attention to the news over the last couple of days, that coronavirus cases are spiking in the US and elsewhere around the world. So people are fearful of shutdowns, oil prices dropping on demand fears today. The election coming up with some craziness, sure to be coming up next week. So fear of shutdowns again. I don't know if anybody else has had this experience. It's purely anecdotal. But I went to the grocery store yesterday, and it almost looked like March again. My toilet paper shelves were very close to being empty. I got the last
Hmm.
pack of my preferred brand, let's call it, and so back, I guess the people that like bamboo toilet paper are going to be, okay, but everybody else. So it's kind of concerning, man, that
It
it's
is.
starting over again.
And
I don't. Have you experienced this by chance?
actually, I did. I went shopping yesterday, and I noticed that the regular paper, the one you use for napkins, right, for your
Mm-hmm.
kitchen, all the good brands were gone. I got this real cheap one that it takes me like 5 sheets to get something done. So it's just we're starting to see some craziness again. I never understood the toilet paper. I just
Yeah,
don't get it. There's far more important stuff to worry about.
yeah.
But yeah, we're
So
starting to see some of that. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, we do have some important economic data that comes out this week. Nothing huge today. We had the Fed National Activity Index earlier at 8:30. New home sales will come in at 10 a.m. this morning. The big one this week is GDP. GDP first read for Q3 is expected to be positive 32.7%, which I believe would be by far the largest ever in history. But it's a bounce back from the largest negative number we ever had in history at the early part of this year. So, anyway, that comes out Thursday morning. Should be interesting. That might spark the markets a little bit, but that's what we've got going on this morning, dude.
All right, man. Let's get into our gappers list, guys. Let's start with what's up this morning. Here's Dunkin' Donuts, nicely up a 18.3 so far. Pre-market action not looking great at the moment, but not too bad. So not bad. This pop-up is good. 231,000 units traded so far, so that's pretty decent. Nice gap up for them this morning. Norm, what's the latest and greatest on Dunkin'?
Yeah, they're going to. It looks like they might be acquired by Inspire Brands, so that's what's going on there. Um, this kind of looks like a buyout in the chart. It might have a possibility of movement here. I don't know how this stock trades. Even with this big news on the stock, it's still only traded 235,000
Mhm.
shares. Um, I don't. Have you ever seen this one come into play?
You know what? I don't think I ever have watched
Uh,
or traded Dunkin' Donuts. And one thing I noticed, look at the volume too. I mean, what is it, a million? And again, we're done a
their
quarter this
average
morning.
average daily volume is 811,000 shares, so very low.
Yeah.
Doesn't look like it's a really good trading stock. Who knows? Maybe today's its day to shine, but
Hmm.
all those indicators kind of say not really.
Yeah.
I
Yep.
I would be hesitant to put this on my list.
Yeah, I agree 100%. We'll have it on here for now, but I doubt it'll stay here. Just by the way it looks, I 100% agree with you there. We'll come back to that one, guys. Let's take a look at JMIA. This one, it is up 5.4 this morning. This has had a nice little run up the last couple of days. Early October, you can see here just on the daily how great this thing has popped up. Not great daily candles, don't get me wrong. It has a great move, but these candles don't look all that great as far as the way they're forming here. So we'll see. Pre-market action though does look decent. We have 874 on here. Nice gap up of 4.5. We have some levels we had hit in the past in August, so maybe we're trying to get back up there. Norm, this run up here is pretty decent. Any news over the last couple of days that's causing this to move nicely?
I mean, there have been a couple of things. I don't really see anything fresh other than Citron Research. Andrew left Citron saying that they think this will run to $100. Um, I don't know if he's stuck in a position he needs out of or what, but that's a long way.
That's a long way to go. So we'll keep it on here, guys. Pre-market looks good. Again, possible breakouts here. We've seen some action come in when they did have volume. We had some pretty crazy days in here. So we'll see what this is going to do today. Let's take a look at what's gapping down. SAP is down 21%. Ouch. This is just getting hammered. Another stock that does not trade very well. Just look how choppy this daily is. Really all over the place. The volume is very light for the most part. It looks like an average of a 600 or so thousand. Pre-market's got 232, so trading a lot of volume for what it does on a regular basis. Norm, I'm assuming earnings. This is taking a bit of a hit here.
Yeah, SAP is getting smoked on earnings this morning. So it's the biggest drop that they've had in a very, very long time.
Yeah, yeah.
The guidance was terrible. So that's
Yeah,
what's
this
going
is
on.
not looking good at all, guys. So I'm hesitant to add this one. Even this looks even worse than Dunkin' Donut because the stock does not trade very well, especially just look at this daily. I'm going to put it here as a possible for now because this is a big drop. I expect that we're going to get some movement out of it. Is it going to be clean today? Is going to be the key here. All right, let's look at the rest is all travel stuff besides plugs. So let's see what's going on here, starting with NCLH. They are down 4%, 200,000. Although they're down 4%, that's not a lot of volume for NCLH. They usually trade a lot more volume when they're really in play because these stocks are heavily traded. Same thing with CCL. Let's take a look at that one. Also, volume very light, only 341, which kind of, I don't know, I find that a little bit weird with everything being down in this area that they only traded so much, right? CCL down 3.8. Let's take a look at the airlines. Delta is down just 2.9. Again, very light on the volume, only 100,000. It's kind of weird. United only 159. Also not a great pre-market action. In American Airlines, let's get plugged for a second. American Airlines, again, with the most volume, 885. But on a day like this, they usually will be at 1 point something by now. So a little bit weird there. I'm not gonna add any of these now. You know what? No, we'll do this. We'll add CCL, which is has the most volume, and we'll add American Airlines, and then we'll see how this thing is gonna play out today. Let's add those two for now. But right now, they're not looking great, though. I gotta say, they're not looking all that exciting compared to what we've seen in the past at these airlines. That can all change as we get closer to 9:30. We'll throw those on there. As Nora mentioned, we know what's going on there with the coronavirus numbers spiking up. These stocks are going to take a hit, right? People tighten down. They don't want to travel. They don't want to do this. They don't want to do that. So they're going to take a direct hit. They really haven't obviously recovered. So things just get worse for them. Here's Plug. Plug is a down 2.5, 133,000 at the moment. Pre-market action is not looking great. They had a nice little turn of events here. They were doing very well here, broke out nicely. And now it's just giving it all back in the last 2 weeks or so. Well, not all back, but at least this breakout here. So we're back at this level of nice resistance that we had right on here over at a 1428. So I think it's decent. Let's add this one for now. It can trade very well. It was a good short last week. I was looking for a breakout in somewhere in here. It never came, but I did not take opportunity on this short opportunity there. Norm, what do you like this morning? We do have Neo just came on deck here. Let's take a quick look at that one. What do we have on Neo? Neo's daily is interesting, man. A nice pop here. They consolidate. We're also hoping for a nice breakup, but they got a huge rejection on Thursday. Didn't do much on Friday, and now we're back at these levels here where we can lose it. It can be nice, right? To run down here. So gonna add Neo as well. Another good one to keep an eye on. All right, back to you, Norm. What do you like?
Snap was crazy the last few days. That might be worthwhile to keep an eye
Yeah,
on.
agree, 100%. It's
Other
just
than that, I mean, I'm not a whole lot. I want to see how this market. I want to see how this market pans out.
Agree. I like Snap a lot, man. 1.3 already, very active pre-market action. And just
Yeah,
look at this gap up. And I mean, Snap at $43 right now. It's just insane. Never in a million years I would have thought this company would do something like that. But things happen. They're doing very well. Look at the volume over the last couple of days. Really nice. 254 million on was this Thursday? Sorry, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So yeah, Snap is definitely on the list for a possible continuation here. Can they keep this up? This is similar to what they did on Friday, right? They had gap down, or they were down at least, right? And they recovered. They recovered and shot up nicely at the market open. So we'll see what happens with these guys. Let's take it to the room here. Let's check our chat rooms. Let's start with Matt. SAP earnings this morning. Yeah, we have SAP down here. Again, horrible trading stock. So they could be the difference maker. We'll keep an eye
yeah,
on that one.
it's
But
a poor one to keep on. I mean, it's a foreign company.
yeah, yeah, it's brutal. We'll see. We'll see. All right, see, Snap, we have it on here. Absolutely. AMD. Yeah, you know what? It could be a profit-taking day, but man, that stock is strong. I wouldn't bet too heavy on it being a short. So I'm just shocked what it's doing now. But you're right. There's gonna be some profit taken, but who knows? Let's just be careful. AMD here is looking good in the pre-market. We got a nice pre-market action on it this morning. It was down quite a bit. Now it's up only a little bit of half a percent at the moment, 426. The daily looks interesting, getting a bit of a bounce. Yeah, this is worth watching. We're gonna throw it on here. Let's take a look at that in a second. Let's look at pins and JP Morgan. Here's pins. Pins at the moment. Okay, pre-market action 1.3. And actually for pins, this is a great pre-market action. They don't trade all that well. There's just not a great trading stock in the pre-market. Last couple of days gap up. They were able to maintain that. Friday had a nice big day here. Looks like this could be a good possible. Again, just because I personally do not like the way this stock trades. We'll see how that turns out in a second here. Let's take a look at NOK. What's happening there? NOK. No, guys. So this one, Siesta de Luna on YouTube. This is not looking good for several reasons. Just look at the pre-market, right? You don't have a good pre-market. You don't have the volume you have at 471. It's not trading well, right? It's kind of scattered around in a horrible pre-market action. Look at the daily. It's just not looking good. So we'll skip on that one. Let's look at KOD. Same here, guys. No volume. 3,000 shares traded, down 8.9. Just not looking good. Has had a great run up here, right? Good day on Friday. But for the most part, this is not something you want to trade. Also, keep in mind, look at the volume down here, right? If you look at the volume on their biggest day here, I see 1.2 million shares traded for the entire day. That's not a good clean. That's not going to be a good clean price action. The spread is going to be horrible. And look at it now. The spread. Take away these zeros and look at your spread is from 86.63 to 90. You don't want to be touching that. Snap we have on deck. Yeah, it is extended, Jay. I agree. Snap is extended on the daily. We'll see. We'll see. It's giving some back at the moment, but I will not put it past me that this thing can break a new all-time high today again. So let's just see what happens. But definitely in play. I think we're gonna get some good movements, long or short, on this one way or the other. AMD we looked at. We have that on deck. Let's take a look at INTC. See what's happening there. INTC had a nice drop down day on Friday. This thing, I mean, really, really took a hit here. Right now, I don't see much going on. It could be one of those days where it's just kind of chops around a little bit there. It is trying to test the lows from last from Friday. You know what? That could be interesting. That could be interesting. If it decides to lose it here, they took a big hit. We can possibly see some kind of continuation. Yeah, let's keep that on there. That could be decent. All right, the Qs. Yeah, the Qs are, I don't actually put those on my list, but you can put those if you like. Let's take a look at Baba. What do we have there? Baba this morning. We had better days from Baba. They're lately they've just been just kind of consolidating here. Pre-market's not looking all that great. I don't see anything great on it though. right now. That could change. Let's look at from Enso DSS. What do we have here? DSS, we have seen this one in the past, guys. I don't recall if it's a low flow stock, but it's a stock that doesn't trade very well. It is a low flow, actually 3.8. So you want to be careful with this one. Just even the pre-market action now, I don't like for a low flow stock. Remember
Yeah,
those good examples we had, Norm, last week? This is not one of them. You know, these wicks over here, this is not what you want to see. So just be mindful of that one. Um, let's look at
it's getting
Apple,
crazy.
DKNG, and then Apple DKNG right now. Beautiful consolidation on DKNG here, guys, for the last 4 or 5 days at 42. I don't think it's ready to do anything right now. Um, I'd love to see a breakout one way or the other, but at the moment, just not looking all that exciting for right now. That could change, so we'll have to come back to that one. Let's take a look at AZN. All right, see what we have here.
Mm,
AZN. Ah, no, it's horrible. We
yeah,
actually,
terrible trading foreign
yeah,
stock.
yep. So we'll skip on that one. I see some people throwing out Zoom on both chats. Let's take a look at that one. Zoom's daily, really nice, coming back down to this area of support. But again, guys, Zoom has been very difficult to trade. It's very choppy, very hard to read the price action. So just be mindful of that.
75
You
cent
know,
spread right now.
yeah. It's a $500 stock. You know, it's
It's tough to.
incredible.
It's been. I've looked at it. I haven't traded it up this high, but I've
Yeah,
watched it for potential trades, and it looks difficult, man. I
yeah.
mean, this is one of these you have to be very careful how you size it. You have to give appropriate stops that are a long distance away, and be
Mhm.
comfortable with it moving toward that. Um,
Yeah.
I would be careful on this, but
And it all comes down to your trading
and it
style,
doesn't have.
right?
It really doesn't have that much volume this morning either.
Yeah, this not does have a lot of volume neither. I think it
I
was
like the
last week.
daily. That
The
having been
daily's
said.
great. Yeah, daily's beautiful. This area right here, this level is sitting at, and the breakouts is nice. And again, it goes back to your style, your trade book, right? Some stocks like this, if you catch a beautiful trend trade, can play out nicely with a, like you said, a wide stop. But if you're kind of trading the way Norm and I do, you know, we like these quick moves. So having a stop that far out just doesn't quite work for us with the way we trade. So we'll skip on that one for now, guys. Let's take a look at what I have here. Let's look at DKNG. We looked at Apple. We haven't looked at that one. Let's take a look at Apple. Apple's daily is interesting. We're down 1.2. Yeah, Apple's good today. Let's see. See, we're back at this area though where we had a lot of just back and forth on here. Great volume, great pre-market action, but man, it traded at the open so choppy. But I like this drop here. We're leaving this area of support. Let's see. Let's see what happens with Apple. We'll throw it on here. Apple's decent for now. I don't think it's in play, but it's worth taking a look at to see if anything's going to happen on that drop. Again, with some of the market being down a little bit here, Apple's a good one. If the market starts dropping down, Apple, like we mentioned before, could be a good one to watch. What else we have here? Thoughts on four? Four is just a difficult stock to trade. Not difficult, it just doesn't move. It doesn't move. It's gonna have great volume. I'm surprised it only has this much. It usually has a lot of volume, but it just doesn't move much. So that's my issue with that one. Let's look at Twitter this morning. What do we have there? Twitter right now, not looking good, guys. 50,000 shares, very light right now. They're daily interesting if we can break out of here, but we're not nowhere near that at the moment. It's not looking great for a stock to watch. Let's take a look at JMIA. We looked at that one already. Yeah, we have that one on our deck. So this is
Mhm.
a good one. Yeah, this is a good one for today, given what we have. Let's take a look at LLIT. What do we have there? LLIT. No, I don't like this, guys. Pre-market, the volume is great, 2.8, but pre-market actually is not looking good on this one. Again, it looks like a low float that is just not trading well. It's 14 million shares flow. Again, we haven't seen a good example today of a good low flow with a good pre-market action. No, I'm not sure if you looked at any of your lists for any good low floats, but right now we haven't seen one.
I haven't seen a whole lot that I'm
Yeah,
liking, but
yeah. All right, folks. Trying to see what else. What else we got, guys? I said it's pretty quiet today. Pins we looked at. We have that on deck. That's not looking great, but we have it as a possible NOK. Let's see what's going on there. No, this is not definitely not good.
terrible.
Terrible, terrible. This
Run.
is not good. Run away from this. Delete it from your platform. INO. INO. No, not good today. Not good. This pre-market action is not great. No volume. So not looking good on INO today. Let's look at Grill. DSS we looked at, guys. That doesn't look great. Whoops, excuse me. GRIL. There we go. Another one's not looking great neither, man. It's This is a little better. Here was nice. It's a little better. Here's getting a little concerning. It's below the VWAP. We're kind of losing things a little bit. 7 million shares traded. But even with that said, these candles are not forming nicely, So I don't like these wicks here neither. I'm not a fan of this one at the moment. DSS we looked at JKS. Take a look there. Interesting daily. Finally, also a couple of red days in here that are actually ended red, are not in an uptrend. So this could be interesting for a good possible. Very, very difficult stock to trade. I'll tell you that right now. Volume is very light. It's a very difficult stock to trade. So be mindful of that. Gilead was active last week with a big red day. Nice gap up, gave it all right back. Yes, on that same day. It's just wild. I don't know if today you're gonna get any, I don't know if it's in play today. It was in play last week. I don't know if it's in play today. You don't have a whole lot of volume on it, and it's down 1%. We might just be chopping around here. And again, this is not easy intraday trading stock. On Friday, there's some opportunities, but for the most part, unless you got some gap up like this or news, you're not going to get a whole lot from Gilead.
No.
We'll
Yeah.
skip on
Run.
on on that one. Yeah, run from that one too. All right, let's see what else we have. So Gilead is good. I'm not good. Excuse me. CHGG. What do we have there? This is not good neither. Kind of tells you kind of Monday it is. Starts this week's not looking too
It's a
great on
My
some of
Pillow
these
Monday.
stocks. Yeah, yeah. YVR also not looking good. Could get better later on, but right now it's not looking good. It's got a nice pop here, but then it's dropping down. That's not looking good either. All right, guys. It is Mindful Monday, so let's get to our announcements. Dr. Cass is ready for us when we're done with that, and we can go from there.
All right, guys. So since it's Monday, we'll go through the quick weekly rundown. Usually, we have Brian's swing trade ideas every Monday afternoon at 2:30 p.m. However, he has been in the Closing Bell show most days. You can find him there anyway. So, um, Carlos's onboarding class each Monday night, 8 p.m. live in the classroom, and then at noon Eastern on Tuesdays and Thursdays, you've got Eamon's trade review. Psychology webinars, guys. We're changing up the we are changing up the days things go on. So uh, we've got our three pillars. That's the foundation of how we operate and teach and everything else, and that's technology, psychology, and knowledge strategy. So we're going to change up just a little bit. We're going to have technology, which is kind of onboarding and everything. That'll be Mondays. Tuesday is going to be psychology, or Tuesday is going to be success webinars. Wednesday will be psychology. So that's really the big change. Those two things, switching, flip flopping, and then Thursday will be mentoring, that the Thor's class that he's doing each week right now. And then Closing Bell show. So that's going to be taking place in the next couple of weeks. Closing Bell show is each day, 3:30 to 4:15, Monday through Thursday as well. All right, guys. So this week, tomorrow night is Jared talking about his Pearson fail strategy. Is that tomorrow night? Can somebody confirm that? Is this right? I have a feeling the site is messed up. It is tomorrow night. Okay, 8 p.m. Eastern. Tomorrow night will be Jared's Pearson fail. It's a reversal strategy. Very good strategy he's been using, so check him out. And then next week on Wednesday, Success Webinar, is Jonathan Warren. He's going to be talking about managing taxes for Canadians. As far as psychology webinars, we're taking a break a little bit next week, and especially for U.S. traders, because they aren't going to have use for that Wednesday deal. With the elections next week, we anticipate some craziness, some people watching the news, low attendance. So it kind of coincides with switching things up in the dates. So next week, if you're a U.S. resident, you probably won't find much use in that success webinar. You can take a couple of days off, get angry with whoever wins the election, because 50% will be angry no matter what. Anyway, Native Success webinar next week. That's that's this Wednesday on the 28th. She'll be mindfulness talk on Don't Believe Everything You Think. All right, member trade of the day, guys. Sorry, I'm having trouble getting through these announcements this morning. Markup and take a screenshot, mark up, and post on Twitter your best trade of the day, entries, exit strategy, ideas, thoughts, whatever it was that made you see the setup and take the trade. Then tag at Bearable Traders at Mike B_BBT and at Norm BBT. Use hashtags BBT Family, Day Trading, and Stock Market. We'll announce the winner for each day in the Closing Bell Show, and then the winner for the week will be announced on the following Monday Closing Bell Show. That person will win a $100 gift card from Amazon. Guys, Andrew's book has now been translated into Espanol. You can get it on Amazon or the audiobook version on Audible. If you're watching us on YouTube and haven't been in the chat, you can do so at a discount. Use the promo code PREMARKET24. That'll give you 7 calendar days, 5 trading days. Includes Carlos's onboarding class each and every Monday night at 8 p.m. Eastern for $24. Doesn't auto-renew or turn into any other kind of membership. Also, if you're looking to upgrade your membership, use the promo code Halloween35, and you'll get 35% off a lifetime membership. Dr. Katz, how are you, sir? I hope you had a wonderful weekend.
Yeah, I'm doing well, Norm. How are you doing, my man? Doing okay?
I'm good. I'm good, thank you. I'm very good. Other than scared that toilet paper is going to run out, can't complain. So we have had this series going on. We're in our 3rd week of this. It's come from questions that are pretty commonly raised to us, sometimes publicly, sometimes privately, from members and traders in general. And today we've talked 2 weeks ago, we talked about profit goals, pros and cons to having a monetary profit goal. Last week, we talked about poor trading, trying to reach a certain P&L number, whether that is a profit goal or it's just some round number that you'd like to get to that you maybe fell a little bit short of that day. Today, we're going to talk about what I think is the most important and kind of brings this whole thing full circle back together, and how learning to accept losses can drastically improve your trading. So take it away, sir. What are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, a great topic as usual. So I think in the whole topic of learning to accept losses to improve trading, I think one of the key aspects of this, as defeating as losses feel, how we react to the loss is actually more important than the loss. That's key. Often people become hijacked, so to speak, by their emotions after a loss. And the reason that becomes problematic is that then often leads to traders responding to that emotional reaction by becoming sometimes overly aggressive and overtrading. And very often the opposite or the converse is true, is that people become more timid, more passive and tentative out of fear of losing more money. So this is part of the difficulty, again, of having these emotions hijacked. Now, none of those reactions, of course, are very constructive, and successful traders really handle losses more productively and really understand, and actually successful traders really embrace that losses are an inherent part of the trading process. Let me just give a little bit of a sports example. Baseball players who bat 300 generally make the All-Star team. Well, that player is making 7 outs out of 10 at-bats. So successful baseball players learn to understand that actually in their sport, a higher percentage of their at-bats result in negative outcomes, but they learn to deal with it in a positive, constructive way because of just how statistics are. So traders need to kind of, again, embrace the kind of inherent nature that losses are part of the problem. Now, a few ways to maybe survive this emotional hijack tendency, or a few tips. One is the key factor that traders really need to do is you've got to accept responsibility. To me, owning the loss, ownership, responsibility, and accountability are key factors, first and foremost, in getting better and accepting losses. Huge thing that people have got to own it, be accountable for that. Sometimes in response to the losses, people need to stop trading, perhaps, and figure out what went wrong, review what happened. Another key step here. The next one is you got to have a plan. A detailed action plan for future trades, kind of what you will do differently and what you'll do the same, is a really constructive and positive way of handling losses. Key factor there, have a plan. And then from that, actually make a better plan by building on some of your signature strengths. So even though it's important when you have a losing trade to look at the areas of the trade that you didn't handle particularly well, there are also other trades that you've done a good job with, and you want to build on those strengths that you have developed and have come to the forefront in winning trades. So again, make a better plan by building on your signature strengths. Next, you gotta put your losses in perspective. Here's the key. One losing trade doesn't define you as a trader. And here's the next point that I think is even more important. It doesn't define you as a person. You've got to get a perspective on life. Sometimes when people have a series of bad trades, they internalize it and personalize it so much. They feel like not only they are a lousy trader, but you're somehow a terrible person. You've got to separate, separation of church and state here. An action that you may not have handled well does not mean that somehow you're a bad person or even a bad trader. You made a bad trade. Kind of get some perspective and assess it and try to build and grow. So this is very important. Also, use your losing trades, this is harder, by being inspired. Use the loss as a motivation for learning and getting better. If you can switch that energy and channel it in a more positive, constructive way and try to be inspired as opposed to ruminating about the loss, you'll be in much better shape and you're on your way to kind of having more success. The next thing is you got to get back in the game. Once you kind of do the recovery work, you've got to trade again. You don't want to you got to get back on the horse. You are generally can be mentally stronger and better prepared than you were before. So those are a few kind of tips, successful suggestions that you can use in terms of accepting losses and improving your trading. But the key factor is taking responsibility, recognizing that losing trades are an inherent part of the trading process. And Norm and your main man, Carlos, and everybody else on the team can give you their war stories about some of their horrible losses. And hopefully they can talk to you about like what they learned and gained and how they've moved on.
Absolutely, Doc. And that's how we come up with these as well, because we've all been there and all experienced it.
Yeah, and let me just say to the folks out there listening, one of the things that Norman, Carlos, and I have talked about is kind of gearing these Mindful Mondays to the kinds of topics, issues, and questions that you folks out there have. So because I want to try to talk about things that are most on your minds. There are things that are on my mind that may be relevant, that may not be relevant. So I encourage people throughout the week to hit up Carlos and Norm with some ideas, thoughts, suggestions. They will call them. They will see what some of the most common themes are. They'll pass them along to me. I'll try to do some good prep in for the Mindful Monday pieces and answer some of your most high-level questions and things of interest to help you become a better trader each and every day.
Great stuff, Doc. Much appreciated. And yes, please contact us, reach out. That's how we get a lot of these subjects.
Good enough, Norm, Carlos, and the folks out there. You guys have a great trading day and a good week. Look forward to speaking to everybody again next Monday.
All right.
Take care, Doc. Have a great week.
Okay.
All right. Excellent, guys. Let's get to our list here. Let's quickly look through it first. We have Snap now 2.1 million shares traded. So we got a lot going on here. Pre-market action looking very nice. So Snap is definitely looking great this morning. Here's Dunkin' Donuts, still not looking good. I might move this down to a possible because I'm just like we mentioned earlier with Norm and I were saying this one might not trade all that well today. We'll have to see. So DKN, sorry, I'm putting DKNG, sorry, DNKN. Let's put that there. So yeah, it's up 18%. I'm just concerned it might not trade all that well. So let's leave it there for now. We'll remove it from our main list. Here's JMIA. Pre-market action looks good here, guys. We got some good volume, 1 million. The daily not so great as far as the way these candles are forming, but let's see. The pre-market does look great here. We do have some levels we can get to up here, so I like that one. Here is CCL bouncing a little bit here off this 1472. we got some decent volume. I want to watch CCL and American Airlines because obviously this area is being hit a bit this morning. A lot of it, even now, more airlines are showing up in our gapping down list. So we'll keep an eye on that, on those two at least. Here's plug for the most part. Again, volume is good, but not great. This stock definitely trades more than that. I think I'm gonna move it to a possible. It might be a tight list today, guys. It might just be. So let's move plug down. I don't see a stock as being in play at the moment. So let's move that there. We have Neo. Neo's got some good volume. I do like the daily on Neo, so this is good. We'll keep that. And then we have AMD. AMD's pre-market action is very clean. I like the way AMD's pre-market action is building here. Their volume is starting to pile up nicely. So yeah, I like AMD. I think we have a good list. So we have Snap is great. JMIA, good pre-market action. CCL and American Airlines are probably not too great, but we're going to watch those two. Neo is amazing. And yeah, it's not bad, actually. Looking at the pre-market action, let's see if we're going to get some continuation out of that. Now, on our possibles list, we have Plug, we have a DKN, Dunkin' Donuts. Pins could be interesting. If you like pins, if you traded before in the past, you like the way it moves, you can definitely put this on your list. I don't like it. SAP, I'm really going to put it here to see how this stock is going to look at an hour and a half in. I'm not going to be paying attention to this. It's down 21%. I want to see how that's going to react. It's a foreign stock. Daily's horrible. It's just not a great intraday trading stock for what we like to do. But I want to see how it actually trades. INTC also, I want to see the continuation on this from gapping down huge last week, Friday, down 1%. I want to see what happens there. Apple is okay. Yeah, see, a lot of these is just for me to look at and just kind of get an idea how those stocks are going to trade. But these up here look pretty good. Let's start with Snap. Let's get some levels in here. So Snap, high of the pre-market at the moment, which should probably be your all-time high, 44.25. Did we hit anything higher on Friday? I don't think we did. But 44, maybe right at the close. Wow, yeah, right at the close, we had this little, like a few minutes before the close there, we hit 44.25. So we did test that this morning several times. But we are dropping now, going actually red. So 44.25 high of your pre-market. Right here, we have a good level, low of the pre-market at the moment, 42.67. And then towards the bottom, you don't have anything. It's about 39.12. So you know what we could do? We can go into our chart from our action from Friday. See what levels we have here that have been touched quite a bit. Here, you clearly have one. This 42.27, just look at the action on it. Look how many touches we have on the intraday here, all the way from 11 a.m. Down to the 3 o'clock in the afternoon. We hit that level a couple of times, 42.27. Below that, we do have another one down here. This is a good one, 41.81. We saw the beautiful breakout here, just took off nicely over to 43. That was a great opportunity there for last week. So we got some levels there towards the bottom. I think that's enough for now. If this thing does start trending lower, then you can come back here and see what other levels, like this one here, this one, and this one, you can mark those down on the way down. But for now, I think we have some good ones at the moment. Let's take a look at JMIA. This one right now. Let's take a look at the current action. High of the pre-market. We got some action all the way up here, 19.74. Let's mark that down. Aside from that, not seeing anything great there. Let's go to the daily. Let's zoom out a little bit. Yeah, the price action is sitting on a level right above that on the daily. Yeah, it's just right on it, really. So 1880, that is the level on the daily off of this one here. This is not quite there. It's like a couple of cents below that. But that 1880, even in the pre-market, we see a couple of touches in there as well. We're actually testing that level right now. Let's see what that does. Above 1974 towards the top, obviously 2066. That you got this wick over here. Also, the opening and closing of these 2 days are very close in here. And then obviously all the way up here, 2360, 86, excuse me. Towards the bottom of that, we do have the previous day close, and then the highs and lows from the last 2 trading days are taking care of you down here between 15 and 17. Let's look at CCL this morning. They are down at 3.8. Again, volume starting to come in. We've seen better for sure, but that's a good one for today. 1472 is still the low of the pre-market right now. Let's see if we're going to be able to hold that. That's also a great level. You want to keep that level on there, even if the low of the pre-market becomes like 14, I don't know, 50. Keep that on there because look at the action you're getting here. You have this day here as well. A couple of support happening there, more resistance. So I think that's going to be a good level to have overall, that 1472. So just keep that on there. Towards the bottom, if we lose it, we have some minor levels in here, right? We have a couple of wicks in here that are being tested, but this one here is a major one, right? Major level of support. You got it here, a couple of days on here, a nice reversal happening off of that, and then all the way down here you have some 1362. Depending how you trade, right? If you're a very fast-paced trader, you're taking profits very fast, you can have more levels because the moves for you might seem bigger or mean much more than if you're trend trading, right? So if you're that type of trader, you can have this level on here, 1422, right? A move from 1440 to 1422, depending on your stock, could be a really big move. So 1422 is a good level to have. A couple of touches on there as well. Towards the top, highs and lows from the last two trading days got you covered. Previous day close, you don't have to add any more up there. Here's American Airlines. Again, American Airlines daily is just brutal. It's just horrible to look at. Hurts the eyes for sure. Low of the pre-market, 1225 right on there. Below that, we do have 1197. Nice area of support here, here. Some pretty big days off those levels. And then obviously all the way down here at 1122. And we could mark this here too. This is 1170 two as well. So a couple of levels there. Towards the top, pretty much cover highs and lows from the last two trading days, and just some really nasty action right in here. It's just look at this all over the place. I'm sure there's some areas with some touches in here. If I look at, if you draw a line, yeah, probably 1287. 1287, yeah, a couple of days opening and closing. They're minor again, guys, not a major level. This is minor, but you can do got some touches on here. A couple of wicks bouncing off of this. So if you want to put that on there in case this thing does want to squeeze up a bit here. Here is Neo. Neo right now, let's remove what we have. Sitting right at this level, a low from Friday, which is also a great area of resistance from 2 weeks ago, right? Then right down here, we have a great area of support over at 2583. This thing opened up, slammed down, and shot right back up. So it's a great area of support at 2583. And then below that, we have a big gap here down to 2391. You can go into this intraday here, and the same thing we did with Snap. You can look for some areas where you see a couple of touches around that area that can make a good area of support if this thing does drop down below that 2583. Here is AMD. So AMD turns the bottom. You pretty much cover. We have this 8008. What is this? This probably one. Not sure what that is. We'll get rid of it. So we have the highs and lows from the last two trading days there. Towards the top, high of the pre-market, 8265. Above that, we do have a level right on here, 8396. Couple of days touching that. And then it gets a little messy here, but you do have something right in here, 8574. Again, that would be an incredible move for AMD to do something like that, especially when the market is not as strong. But again, they had a nice day on Friday. Let's see today, pre-market's looking pretty good. Volume is increasing. This could be a very good possible for today. Let's take a look at what do we have here as far as our moderators today. Let's see what they have on their list. So let's start with John. He has his high of day breakouts. He's watching Zoom and Baba for that strategy as well on his top of his list. Peter has what's Peter watching? Dunkin' Donuts. Hold on a second. Yeah, here Dunkin' Donuts, AMD, and Snap. On his secondary list, he has SAP, JM, IA, and also the cruise lines are very active today as well. Actually, the cruise lines do look better than the airlines by far, as far as daily. I noticed that too. Let's look at Thor. He's watching Snap, Dunkin' Donuts, and those two, and then back up Neo and AMD. Neo's got a decent pre-market action too. Watch list for Tiffany is Snap, JMIA, and secondary is AMD. Brian has JMIA, SAP, Neo, DKNG, and also LLIT maybe. Brian, I see what you did there. You're not saying for fun, and YouTube viewers won't know, but this happened on in the chat when we were live. The for fun was not working there, but I see what you did. You did maybe now. I don't know if let's see what Andrew thinks about that. I like it. Amen. Watch list Baba, Neo, JKS, secondary list Netflix, APA, and JMIA. Mike B is watching break of high day scanners, and that's it. He doesn't like anything at the moment, so he'll just be looking for those scanners to populate something there. And Jared is looking at Snap, Neo, Tesla, SAP, and YVR for fun. So Jared took the for fun for Brian this morning. So again, usually for fun, low flow stocks. And last week, I think Brian he put a low flow stock in there that Andrew did not do too well on, and Andrew blamed Brian. So that was pretty fun to watch. All right, that is what we have, guys. Let's go back to our list here. I think our list is pretty. Again, it's not great. I'll tell you that it's not great. Snap looks decent. JMIA is starting to bounce back a little bit here. These travel stocks could be better. So I got these two there just in case something happens there. Neo at the moment could be interesting, but we'll have to see. And AMD. So again, we definitely it's not a superstar list, that's for sure. But we'll see what the market gives us. Again, this week, guys, we have to be patient. Things are a little bit wild and crazy with everything going on. We just got to be patient. It might be a week where you're not probably going to hit your biggest numbers that you have hit in the past or your regular numbers that you have hit in the past. But your job is to protect yourself from not losing numbers that you have not lost in the past, right? So think of it that way. Protect yourself, protect your account, and just wait for when the market's ready to make us more profitable than not. All right. So it's just very, very important. Maybe take a lesser size, right? If you feel the urge that you have to trade because that happens, just take lesser size or trade in sim if you could do that. All right. With that said, guys, we are calling it tonight. We have our onboarding class at 8 p.m. Eastern time. So make sure you sign up for that if you haven't done so already. Do the 14-day trial for DAS if you have not done that already. And I will see you guys tonight so we can get you all set up, give you insight of our community, and get you all on board and set up to go. Take care, guys. Trade safe, and we will see you tomorrow at 8:30.
Take care, guys. Trade safe.